Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Kirsten and of course it's the start of a weekly vlog. And this week I am starting off the week with reading 2 books, which honestly I think going forward that's the way I'm going to be doing this, because I'm really enjoying audiobooks and I do like to have a physical book on the go as well, so that's going to be great. This week's audiobook is The Butterfly Garden by Hutchinson, and this is actually laid out as an interview format, which I actually really quite like. I think the audiobook is awesome. We have 2 different narrators, so we have one for the FBI agents and one for the survivor of what she's been through. She's calling herself a few different things, but one of the names is Maya, and she's a very interesting character. We don't really know her background before all of this. We know that she's run away and she's had to deal with some horrible things earlier on in her life, and now she's had to deal with being in the butterfly garden. Now, the gardener is a serial killer who is collecting girls to put in his garden but tattoos butterfly wings on their back, and once they hit a certain age he then kills them. So it's a really creepy story, I'm not gonna lie. Last week's audiobook was You, and I finished that on Monday. But as much as I enjoyed it, it wasn't the thriller aspect that I wanted, so that ended up being 3 stars because I found it more humorous than thriller, which was a shame because I was hoping for a thriller, whereas this is definitely giving off those vibes. It is very creepy, it is a bit graphic in places as well, and it's just you know that these girls have gone through so freaking much, and you don't know whether you can trust Maya or not. So it's a really interesting dynamic in this book. I'm on page 105, and yeah, it's definitely a creepy one. I picked this up because of Christina from Christina Campbell Reads, who I'll have linked below, but she read this and found it very intriguing, and I trust her enough that I was like, you know what, let me give this a try, and I'm pleased I am giving it a try because it's definitely got those creepier thriller vibes that I was really looking for and missing in You. So yeah, I'm excited to continue on with this one. Excited probably isn't the right word because this isn't a pleasant story to read, but it is well done and I like the format of the book, and I'm really interested to see where Maya's story goes. And then at the moment I'm physically reading Jane Slayre, and this is a really fun book. This is actually my punishment read for the month because I didn't finish my November TBR, but I'm actually really enjoying this one. We have the classic Jane Eyre story that's then been adapted slightly, and it now has vampires and zombies and all sorts going in it, and honestly it's really good. I like the fact that we do have the original classic story interwoven with these newer elements that have been added in, and it's making me miss the actual story of Jane Eyre a lot because I love that classic. And I'm up to the part where we've just met Mr. Rochester properly for the first time in Thornfield Hall, and I love that. Honestly, I really do love that, and it might seem sad, but I do think it's one of the best classic moments of meeting your love interest. I think it's so well done, and Mr. Rochester is the one that changed things from all the love interest and the heroes of the story having to be these blonde-haired handsome men to actually someone that's a bit darker, more rugged, and it's so good. And I love the fact that that influence has prevailed throughout most of our books nowadays, because it is so common to have a love interest who is more rugged and darker haired and just all of these things, and that all started with Mr. Rochester. So I'm really enjoying this. In case you haven't noticed, it is making me miss the original book, but I do like the added twists in this. I think it's actually really well done and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. So yeah, very pleased with this. So that's what I'm reading currently at the moment with these 2. Very pleased with both of them, both different but both good in their own rights. So that's been really great. But as always, I do need to get to work. I've enjoyed my pretty much almost a week off work that I had, which was absolutely delightful. But now it's time to get back to work, and I'm imagining it's actually going to be quite a busy day because shops are opening today after our second lockdown, and I think it's going to be manic, which I'm not happy with, because what's the point in doing all of this if you're then just going to go crazy as soon as the shops open? But that's a tangent. I gotta go. I have had a really nice relaxing couple of days. I have been back at work, but the evenings have been really chilled, which has been absolutely lovely. I've done some artwork for the first time in months. I used to draw portraits a lot. I would actually do it like for commissions and stuff, but I gave myself a break because I was getting a bit too stressed from feeling the pressure of constantly having to put out artwork all the time, and so I haven't actually painted a portrait in like 6 months. So it was really nice to have a break and just draw for myself, although I can definitely tell I'm out of practice because the proportions are not right, but it was really nice just to be able to relax and do some artwork for me for a change, and it might be something I continue with a bit more, not to the level I was doing it at because it was just getting too stressful, but it was really nice just to spend a little bit of time drawing. And while I was doing that, I finished listening to The Butterfly Garden, and this was very interesting, very compelling. I really liked the format of the interview, and we know that the main character, Maya, is hiding something, and so you're intrigued and want to find out what she is hiding and where this is all going. Now, it is rather graphic in places, so please be aware of any trigger warnings for rape and suicide and a few other things, so just do your research before going into this. It is a rather dark book, but I did find it quite, like I said, compelling. It really just intrigued me as to what was going on. The only thing that I wasn't a fan of was actually the ending. I feel the final big reveal just was a bit lackluster for me. I think it could have gone a different way, but apart from that, it was a really solid book, and I have to thank Christina for bringing this to my attention because I genuinely did quite enjoy this one. And it ended up being 4 stars, which was good. It's a lower 4 stars because of that ending, but overall the rest of it was very well done in my opinion. I really liked the audiobook version of this, and like I said, the layout of it all and the way you're slowly finding out what has happened was so well done. I really did think that this was cleverly done. But yeah, definitely a darker book, so be careful going into this. And then yesterday I just relaxed and read some more of Jane Slayre, and I'm really enjoying this. I've got 160-ish pages left, so I'm trying to finish this up tonight, but it's making me miss Jane Eyre so much. And I do like the fact that the changes to it with the paranormal stuff, so like the vampires and zombies, isn't too heavy-handed throughout this book. It's done very cleverly. It's kind of crafted in a way where it does actually kind of make sense, and you do have those darker bits in Jane Eyre, so to have it slightly twisted so that you actually have it more pronounced and it's actually like vampires and zombies, I think it's so cleverly done. But yeah, it does make me miss the original classic because I really do enjoy Jane Eyre, and this has enough of the original story unaltered in it for me to go, I really miss it. But I am also really enjoying this book because of that, and it does have these slight differences and alterations in it, which is interesting to see how it's being done throughout the book. Definitely one that I am enjoying more than what I thought I would, and like I said, planning to finish this up tonight. But that's it really, because apart from work and reading, I haven't really done too much else, but we'll see what the weekend brings for us. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm really disappointed in Jane Slayre, like, okay, so starting off this book, obviously I was enjoying it because it was having the original things from Jane Eyre with the addition of vampires and zombies, etc. And I was enjoying it. It wasn't as good as Jane Eyre, but it was still enough that I was getting the vibes from it and was enjoying it. And I thought that there was a few things missing, but couldn't pinpoint exactly what, mainly because I haven't read the original Jane Eyre in such a long time. But I got to the point where we have the proposal, and I know there are 2 key quotes in that which I absolutely love. They are some of the best quotes in the book in my opinion. I think they're absolutely bloody phenomenal, and they weren't in here. And then I'm like, what? Why isn't that in here? Like, I don't understand, because it wouldn't interfere with the plot line of the vampires and zombies, because I understand tweaking some things so that it makes more sense for what you're trying to do with the twist on the tale, but for this, I couldn't understand why they weren't included, and I was gutted. And at first I thought maybe I'm just misremembering this book and maybe those quotes happen at a different point, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it happened at that point. So I looked through my copy of Jane Eyre and no, I was right, they were definitely there, and I cannot understand why these quotes were taken out of it because they're iconic and I'm just so gutted. So I'm going to say what the two quotes were because then maybe you guys can explain to me why they were taken out, because I feel like it doesn't interfere with it in any way. Do you think because I am poor, obscure, plain and little, I am soulless and heartless? An iconic line there from Jane. And then we also have, I am no bird and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being with an independent will, which I now exert to leave you. Classic, classic. So I do not understand why they were cut from Jane Slayre. Like, I just don't understand why, considering it is supposed to be the Jane Eyre story just with the addition of vampires and that. I don't understand why those quotes were taken out of this. And then once I realised that, I then started noticing so many other things that weren't quite right, and it's like the whole part where Jane ends up with St. John Rivers and his family, like all of that was just so rushed through, and I'm like, no, this doesn't happen like this, like we missed out on a whole important bit there, and I'm just like, so disappointed. But yeah, I have 50 pages left. I am going to finish this up, but it's just so disappointing to me to have those key moments taken out. And I can understand that this has been altered slightly to make it a slightly easier read, because it is an easy read, it's very fast paced, and I understand some of the conversations and that have been taken out to make it run a bit smoother. But at the same time, I wouldn't have thought so much would be taken out. So you're given the bare bones of the Jane Eyre story. You have the vibe of it, you have the plot line, but some of the important interactions between the characters just are missing, and it's, man, it's disappointing. So that's a shame. I mean, either way, I'm never going to get rid of this book because, as I said, my partner gifted this to me, and he also gave me this copy of Jane Eyre because he knows how much I love Jane Eyre. And my copy of Jane Eyre that I had from college, I lended to someone to help with their A-level exams, and I never got it back, and I was always gutted and always talking about it. So Damon got me this beautiful cover and also Jane Slayre because he knew how much I enjoyed Jane Eyre and thought I would enjoy this, and to be fair, I am. It's just disappointing because they've axed some of my favourite quotes. So I have 50 pages left of Jane Slayre, and I definitely want to read Jane Eyre again sometime soon, because now that I know it's missing parts and I'm like, but they were such good parts, I now just want to read the original because it's a great classic. It's my favourite classic story. But that's all I've been reading because I haven't started another audiobook yet because I'm a bit bummed out. The rest of my TBR for the month, I have 8 books left on it and none of them are available as audiobooks. So I'm a little bit concerned at the fact that I need to get through 8 more books, and some of those are chunky books. So I don't know if I'm actually going to manage it. I was really relying on being able to get at least a couple of them on audiobook. So that's gone out the window, but I am going to be starting an audiobook because I really do enjoy listening to it when I'm walking to work and stuff, so I will be listening to one. It's just going to be an extra book that isn't on my TBR because there's none available. So keep your fingers crossed that I'm actually going to manage this TBR this month, because 8 books is normally quite manageable, but I have 3 books that are over 600 pages, so I'm just a little bit like, wish me luck, because I'm gonna need it. I have read hardly anything this weekend at all. All I've done is finish Jane Slayre, which we already know that I was enjoying it to a certain extent because it does remind me so much of Jane Eyre. Obviously it is a twist on the classic, but disappointed in the fact that so many main quotes and main parts of this book were taken out, which I feel was just unnecessary. So it ended up being 3 stars. There's still enough of the original story and plotline that I enjoyed it, and I did think that the twist on it and how they inserted the vampires and zombies was cleverly done, but cutting away of some of the main quotes and points in this book and some of the dialogue between the characters, it was just unnecessary in my opinion. So yeah, just 3 stars for this one, and that's it. I haven't read anything else. I should 100%, because I have 8 books I need to read and several of them are over 500 pages and I've not started it. Oh god, I really need to get a move on and get these books done, but I was really hoping for an audiobook, but yeah. So the chances of me finishing December TBR is probably 0, but never mind. We'll try and get a wiggle on with it next week and actually read some more. I'm sorry that there really hasn't been that much to this vlog. It's been a very relaxed week, even though I've been back at work. I don't know, I'm just feeling chill. I hate winter time. Like, to me winter is sleep time. Like, we don't need to do anything else, we hibernate. I hate the cold so much, and it does make my motivation, and that just crash and burn. Anyway, I am going to wrap up the vlog and leave it here. Do you enjoy winter time? Am I alone in this? Because I'm just not a fan of the cold weather. I just hate it so much. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this week's vlog, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All my social media links to my Instagram, Goodreads, and I normally say Twitter at this point, but honestly I never use it, so I'm just not going to have that linked anymore because I haven't even logged on in months, so don't worry about that one. But I will catch you in the next video.